Hey everyone, it's Tim with Rampp, and I wanted to actually show you guys today this new feature that we're coming out with on Rampp should be live by the time you view this video. And basically it's going to allow you to fully decentrally host your NFT images. So after this comes the community mint pages, but this is a really big feature unto itself. And of course with Rampp, you will fully own this entire process here. Rampp does not get in the way, and if Rampp vanished off the internet, your project wouldn't even know, because that's what we're trying to accomplish here. We want to make having fully decentralized NFT projects a really easy no-code experience. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go to Rampp.xyz, Rampp.xyz, and we'll go to launch a project. You'll notice that I'm in my local development environment because we haven't gone live with this first. I'm very eager to show everybody what's going on. So there's two things that we should do. The first is that I'm actually assuming from the get-go that, let's see, if we go to Rampp, that you have an NFT project locked and ready to go. Rampp does not help you generate your images, although we are partnered with a really cool tool, niftygenerator.xyz. And essentially, it's exactly what it looks like. These people built a beautiful in-browser tool to where you just upload your layers, and then it will automatically create the combinations for your generative NFT project and remove all duplicates. It'll also give you the metadata. So if there's like some, cool metadata that you want to add, like, traits and attributes, they even allow you to do that here. So this is an awesome side tool to use. You should support these people. They're doing great work. I have used this generator already, and I just didn't upload any layers at all. And you can see actually I have a folder here. This is the output that you would get from Nifty Generator. You have these images that are labeled 1.png all the way to 26. That's how many I did. You could put 10,000 if you have that large of a project. And then also you have a metadata folder, which is going to be like a 1.json, 2.json, 3.json. And all of these are kind of the preliminary metadata that describes each associated image. So 1.json belongs to 1.png. It's a good descriptor for it. We're going to take this custom metadata. If you don't have custom metadata, you probably should for your project. The reason being is that a lot of people, when they launch NFT projects, their community expects to be able to track the rarity of an image, but I'm going to assume as an artist, you're already well and intimately familiar with this process, and you're using Rampp to actually deploy your full NFT project. So the first thing that you would need to do, you can ignore these other three contracts. We're going to recreate this color blocks contract essentially. So first thing we'll do is create a new project, and you'll see the first step now is set up images and metadata on IPFS. So the way to do that is you can read through this warning, which essentially is like, you should have your metadata ready. If you have a project that all the files together amount to more than 1 gigabyte, this actually may incur a fee. And the reason for that is because we actually utilize Pinata. Pinata is an IPFS service that essentially takes the complexity out of hosting an IPFS node. I actually already have an account, but the first step is to register for an account. It is totally free if it's under 1 gigabyte. The first iteration of this feature is going to be a little bit more manual, but there's still no technical complexity. We provide you all the tools and information to make this easy. We'll go to the next step, and you'll see that the next step is uploading our token images. There's a little video tutorial here to show you that, but I'm going to show you basically how to upload the images and get something called a CID, which is a content ID, and it's a unique hash that allows people to find your content on IPFS. So we'll go to Pinata, we'll go to login, and you'll see I have this, random account, and we can sign in. And you'll see I have 2 items uploaded already. Essentially what we're going to do is be duplicating this. But the way that you would upload your images is you would go to upload, folder, select your folder, and then we'd have to go to images and just, go back up one. And you would just select the images folder or the folder that contains all of your NFTs, again, which should be a number name dot file extension, and we'll click upload. And it's going to ask us to name the folder. we want to name it images. I'm gonna name it images 2 because this is essentially a duplicate. But the name of this folder actually does not matter. It can be called whatever you want. We'll click upload, and depending, of course, on how many files you added, that will change. You'll see that we have images 2 here, and there is this content ID. We just want to click those little files. It'll copy this content ID to our clipboard, and we want to paste that into here. Now, this allows Rampp to be able to interface with your contract, with your IPFS files, and make sure that they're valid and that they exist, so that we know when we generate your contract that it's going to work. The file extension that we have is PNG, so we're going to change that. We'll click save on both of these pieces of information, and then we can proceed to the next step. Now, this is creating the metadata. So you can see metadata is supposed to look something like this. You'd have a name, a description, some attributes, which can be anything that you like. And what we can do here is go and upload our custom metadata, and then Rampp is going to supplement that for you. So you just go to metadata, you would select all of the files, and then you would see that we have 26 files uploaded. Then we would download this completed metadata, just, extract that to the desktop. And we're going to do the same exact thing on IPFS in the next step, where we upload the metadata files to Pinata. So we go back to our bucket, upload, folder, and we want to go to our desktop. And you can see if we expand this folder, we have a whole bunch of files without any extensions. These are still JSON text files. It's really not that important about how these files are named when they're on IPFS, but just know that these are essentially your custom metadata plus the absolutely critical metadata that allows your images to appear on marketplaces like OpenSea. So you have to use our metadata that we generate for you. It's just a really useful tool, takes out the complexity of having to do it yourself. So we're going to upload all of that, and we're going to call this metadata 2, because of course I don't want to interfere with my other one. Now, we have an images 2 and a metadata 2. We need this content ID because this is going to wind up becoming your token URL. And you'll see how this works. We'll click save. And the next step, if everything checked out, you'll see that we go through 3 checks. Token images on IPFS. So the first thing we do is we check, does token1.png exist? Because it must exist, because we can't reference a file that doesn't exist. Is the metadata, so is 1.json essentially, or just the one file that we uploaded, the Rampp file, the Rampp metadata that we created. And then does the metadata have a valid structure? So is there a name? Is there a description, which is optional, but even blank is better than not having it at all? And then is there an image tag? Because otherwise, when you upload to OpenSea, nothing will appear. When you're done, we can go to the next step, which we're kind of familiar with. There's a little bit of a change here for people who have already used Rampp. You can see that now you can enter a project description, and we'll just call it color blocks. And we'll call this color blocks as well. And we'll just call this, color 2, because I already have a token out there. You'll see there's a new box here called royalties. So when you deploy on OpenSea, you can optionally declare a royalty for you. So for your project, you may want to charge a 5% royalty. We have a couple standard options here. These are, pretty typical for what people charge for royalties. We can have no royalties if you like. If you have a website for your project already, most people tend to, you can paste that in here. And this is all stuff that's going to just appear on your collection page, essentially. You'll see that we have a token metadata URL endpoint. It's already set for us. You can't change it. We'll go to continue to features. We have a token supply of 26. We're not going to charge a mint fee. And actually, we can go to payout address. You can see there's Rampp, and then there's the person deploying this contract. That would be you in this case. And then we can go to click generate, and this process runs a little bit faster on the local machine. But you can see that we have now our Solidity contract and our ABI. And I'm going to stop here and actually switch to a different project that's already set up and actually is using the original images and metadata in Pinata. This contract is already deployed. This one right here. So here, this is the old one. This is the one we just created. We're going to delete that one because we don't need it. And we're going to pretty much just pick up right where we left off with this other contract that's already deployed. I've already gone ahead and deployed this to Rinkeby. Nothing has changed. Everything that we just did is still exactly the same. So you'll see if we go to configure deployed contract, you know, the IPFS URL matches with this URL. I'm sorry, with this URL, this metadata without the one. And actually, I've already deployed this on Rinkeby, but you can see I've deployed this and I've already minted my first token. If we go to testnets.rinkeby, and actually don't go to the create URL. Actually, we don't need to create. We just want to go to the main page. You can actually go to get listed, which actually I'll just show you how to find that. You should be able to go to your profile, I believe, or my collections, and there should be a import existing smart contract. So we can go to that. We can say that our contract right here is live on a testnet. It'll bring us to this get listed page. We are on Rinkeby, and what you would do is you would just copy paste your smart contract into here and click submit. After that, OpenSea will then be like, oh, there's a collection around that we need to know about that is live on the testnet, and they want to test it on OpenSea. Well, what'll happen is when you import your contract, and this could take 15 minutes or so to pop up properly. But what will happen is that we can go to color blocks, and, you know, like pretty much all of our contract stuff, we have that one minted token that is already live, and this is actually the image of our thing. It's just a small 36 by 36 color, because that's all the NFT ever was. And you'll see there's a name for it. I called it Rabbit. It's coming from the collection color blocks. There's some details. It says the contract address, the token standard, the blockchain. And so, yeah, you have now fully deployed a ERC 721 contract. Your NFT images and metadata are 100% fully decentralized. If Rampp were to get obliterated off the face of the planet, your NFT project wouldn't even know. We just provide a nice wrapper that makes deploying so easy without having to write a single line of code, without even having to look at code. And so, yeah, that's pretty much the entire feature right there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So that is how you would use Rampp to decentralize the actual asset part of your project. Let me know what you think of it. I'd love to see you be using Rampp for your next project. Either way, it'd be great for you to give Rampp a try if you don't want to code, but you do want to launch an NFT project because you're an artist. And, you know, like, there's no need for you to hire a developer when you're using Rampp. Thank you.